Hello and welcome guys to another status report highlight, this time for the week of the 15th of July, 2015. Yet another week is checked off the calendar as the team moves forward with development of DayZ. In this week's status report, lead producer Brian Hicks will be filling us in on the challenges the team faces while on the road towards the next stable branch update. Additionally, Brian will hand out a bit more info and updates in regards to the current state of persistence on 058 over on the experimental branch. As we're in crunch to resolve the last few blocking issues for 058, we don't have too much new news. That said, we'll use this week's status report to fill you in on the issues we're currently focused on resolving for 058, as well as some small changes to the experimental branch over the last week. Player position desync. This issue has been present in a pretty bad state on 057, so obviously we want to do what we can to improve the situation for 058. No one enjoys having their character get stuck in one spot, or have someone they're in conflict with bounce all over their screen. While we'll probably not get this issue 100% resolved for this update, our aim is to mitigate it as much as possible, and present as enjoyable an experience on stable branch as is possible, within the reasonable amount of time for bug fixing. We'll be pushing test updates to experimental branch as work on this moves forwards. Degrading server performance. Internally, we have noticed severe performance drops on 058 experimental, below what we consider to be the acceptable line for a playable dev build. The team has focused on investigating the cause of this issue and resolving it so as to return the build to a playable state. This, like the issues with player position desync, is marked as a blocker for 058 stable release. As well, we discussed last week the goal of having the gameplay programmers resolve the issue of animation glitching for 058, with the issues listed above, specifically player position desynchronization being a much more critical issue. Priority on the animation glitching, weapon swapping, holding an invisible weapon has been rescheduled for 059 in order to give the proper resource to resolve the issues listed above. That said, with 058 large strides have been made on the loot respawning and cleanup issues, allowing us to look forward to the reintroduction of persistent objects frequently used with the building of player camps. The following functionality is currently present on 058 persistence: vehicle position, vehicle inventory, attached vehicle parts, with exception to tires and fuel levels, barrel locations and inventory, horticulture plots, fireplaces and ovens, tents, camping, military and car locations and inventory, containers, ammo canisters, backpacks, etc. And of course, the base item persistence is functioning as well. Item cleanup and respawn should ensure the economy functions at the base enjoyable level. If you encounter or spawn near a village that seems to be barren, just continue on to the next town. Mapping the concentration of loot over the span of a week on experimental has shown proper saturation across the map, so there is a high chance that the next town will have everything you need. As well, lead designer Peter Nespesny will be discussing our goals for vehicle maintenance, tools, parts, etc. on the official DayZ forums later today. Make sure to head over and let your voice be heard. And lastly, as we look to pushing 058 to stable branch, we'll be issuing a full reset of the Hive, private shard and public shard characters, as well as a full wipe of existing persistence. We still have a long way to go, but 058 should be a fun build to play on, and 059 looks to be even better. And that's all for the status report highlight for the 15th of July, 2015. Some very good information there regarding player desync, as I have encountered this issue personally quite a bit on 057. As always, I recommend you read the status report in full for yourselves for the most amount of information that it holds. All links will be in the description, as well as for DayZ TV for all your latest DayZ news and information. And I'll see you peeps next time.